Yeah, what's up, everyone? Welcome to FILMspiration, the place where filmmakers come to get inspired. My name's writer-director Edgar Ibarra. Let's get down to business.
All right.
We've got
Bobby Fleming right in the house.
Bobby. Thank you so much for being here, bro. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So Bobby, you are a beginning actor, right? So talk to me about your background is in the service, correct? But then you gravitated toward acting. How did that happen?
Well, I went to basically a lady called Barbara asked me to come down. She was from the church, and she asked me to come down to Phoenix to be an extra in the Black Prince. So I did that, and the next thing I knew, I had an invitation from Chuck Williams' master acting class, and he brought me in and he taught me a bunch of things, and I have to say that's where I got my start, from Barbara, then to Chuck Williams, and from there I went to writing class with him, and then through Chuck Williams' class I got introduced to Jeannie, and Jeannie is who I'm with right now, and through Chuck and Jeannie I did I've been in some commercials, and I've done some camera work. I'm also a photographer, so I didn't do a lot of stuff like that.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Renaissance man.
Yeah, I started photography when my daughter was born on my birthday. I still do. She's back in Okinawa. Hi, John. And so I couldn't say that out because she's on my Facebook page. So I still do. Akatan.
Yeah, I'll get you the link afterwards, right, to share it.
Yeah.
And so so in your journey, you met one person, then to another, and then here we're doing a short film with many other great actors and actresses. Obviously, first and foremost, for the purpose of clips, for a reel and for a compilation reel and individual clips. But Bobby, what are you seeing as we go through at least our process, or just acting in general so far? Like, what are you seeing? What are you liking? What are you not liking?
What I'm liking is the teamwork. Just like in the Marine Corps or Air Force and everything else, you have to have teamwork. It's not an individual thing, because you have to act off your partner. You have to act off a group. You have to come together as a group. You're not a one-man show, and I do like that. Some things I don't like is sometimes when you're dealing with something, you're either on the call sheet or you're not on the call sheet. I made a mistake of asking a friend to come in, and one of the actors showed up late, and he actually took the part of that friend, and then
wow.
And he wasn't on the call sheet. And that was my number one and only mistake so far, but.
Yeah.
It was I took care of it like a professional did, and I gave what I had, and it was all squashed and done. But I love right now. I love what Edgar's doing with the script writing. He brought us in on the ground floor, and that is something that I never seen before. So I know that dealing with that and going over the scripts and everything like that is something to learn that I didn't learn in class. Not as deep as I am getting right now. I did learn it in Chuck Williams' class about script writing, but to be on that one level, I never was on that level before, and I'm grateful for that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, and I'm grateful to have all you guys and gals aboard. And one of the things that I always talk about, not because it's better or worse than anyone else's technique. That's not where I'm going with this. What I'm saying, pertains to. At least I can speak for what we're doing.
Right.
I love to give you all the license or not that I give licenses, but I love to provide a space where you guys can take the text off the page and breathe it to life. And, even, for example, even with me, like I'm changing words around and I'm crossing stuff out because my own writing, because Bobby, I think, what if you tried this, or what if it sounds better like that, or whatnot, and then maybe you throw some stuff at me. And I like to provide that space because as a human being and as a practitioner in this craft, if at the very least, at the grassroots indie level, I am not so big, at least right here, that I think it has to be my way and that's it. Like, you guys are the actors and the actresses. Like, you guys need to, do that job. You know what I mean? And so I like to make sure that you guys know that.
Well, what I view it as, like, when I was a director over at the in Okinawa, where I used to have my employees buy into the creative process.
Oh, really?
And if they bought into the creative process, they bring more of their self into it because they find as though they're part of that process, and they get more of their self into it, and they get more time. They're more how would I say passionate about the project in an overall, and they want to get to an overall success rate.
That's a great point, because you know what? I think when you let people invest of themselves in that way, then there's more of an interest to kind of see it through.
Yeah, they buy
and
into it.
Yeah, because they're...
And they make it their own.
Yeah, because ultimately that's what I want you guys to do, is to make these rules your own, but not just by saying, okay, here's the lines, read this, that's that. Like there's so much more to it than just that, in my opinion, and I like to make that very evident and make it very clear.
I like working with people like you because, and I'm not just saying that because I like to be part of the creative process. It's just like as a musician, you want to be able to create. You don't want to take something off a sheet all the time. You want to put yourself into it. As a artist, even if it's art, if you're dealing with art, painting art, or something, you put in something of you. Yeah. You're not drawing lines by lines. You're a real artist is going to be, well, I don't want to draw a line. I want to create something of my own personality. Yeah. I want to put my own stamp on it. Yeah. And you're allowing us to do that. And I see that all through the classroom, and everybody is so excited about it. But when it becomes robotic, and that's where you get people that are, they start to they go to the left or go to the right. But when they have a flexible director, producer, or anybody that actually says, okay, we can do this creative process. What do you think? Okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Okay, how would you do this? It becomes a creative process, because just as we did the prayer. We didn't know about the prayer until somebody who experienced it.
Yes.
And so we got it right, because if we did it wrong in a film, a lot of people who have experienced it, the people that we were trying to touch in this film, if we did it wrong, they're like, well, they don't know what they're talking about. Yes. But if you get the right chemistry down, the right effects down, then you're good on it. And inviting Chris to have his input, because Chris was like, he was a little shy at first, but he's like, hey, here's my 2 cents. If you want to make it realistic, this is the way it would be. And I'm like, cool, let's do that. Yeah. Because it's not about like, no, you're wrong and I'm right. Like, it's not about that. It's about doing the story and the performances justice by being real to what needs to, by being real to what you need to be real to. And I'm a big fan of that, because it's ultimately about what we put up there. Because I can't speak too much for theater, but in film, you get it right and you do something right. If it's not the entire film, but maybe if it's just a moment, but you get that right, that stays recorded forever. Yeah, and if you do it right, it's going to be effective to the people that you're trying to reach out to. If you do it wrong, it's not going to affect the audience that you're going to reach out to.
And again, that's a thing that I like to provide for, or that freedom to create, and we work and we tweak and we scratch things off. And I made that very clear, by the way, when we first started this journey at the beginning, mid last week, that I want to see scripts scratched off, notes like crazy, because it's not about just keeping it clean by the time we're done. Like, I want to see the work that was literally written down and put in, and it's definitely there on my script. Because that's when you've put in that work, and everyone's creative input. Even to the 2 young ladies that we have working with us, they're 2 minors, but I want to know, like, how would you say it, like, or what could we say better, or I thought I was coming up with a fresh idea, and then one of our young ladies, her name's Jay. Yeah. Jay says, actually, no, we already went through that. Do you remember you scratched out this? And I'm like, oh, that's right. Like, she's on top of it. Like, damn.
Yeah, but it doesn't sacrifice the overall vision of the director. Yep. And so as long as we're in the same lines of the vision of the director, we can tweak this and tweak that, and we can put our creative juices into this and into that, as long as we get from A and we still hit B.
And you're right. It's all about, okay, ultimately there's going to be 20 different ways that you can deliver the same sentiment about, let's say this is a rocket ship, or this is a mug, or I could tell you 20 different ways that this is a rocket ship. Ultimately, the point is which way is more effective to still communicate the fact that this is a rocket ship.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know it's a stupid, but you guys all get it, you know what I mean? Like, it's a stupid, thing I just came up with, but I mean, one of the things I work with Bobby is, I saw this thing, I like inspirational memes on Facebook, and there's one that says, "Don't ever let perfect be the enemy of good." And I had to think, when I first read that, I'm like, don't ever let perfect be, and I'm just like, wait a minute. Perfect, perfect doesn't exist, but people reach for it, and so it can't. To me, it's like, and sorry to cut you off. To me, it's like, don't let the pursuit of perfect cancel out what could be good. So in other words, reach for good, don't reach for perfect. And so that's, I tell people, like, toss perfect out the window. Like, you want the perfect body, what is perfect? It's like,
it's not this one. No, I would not
this one either.
I would basically, that was my biggest thing when I was a musician.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to be perfect and hit the perfect notes every time, and that was keep me from playing with other bands, because I'm like, I'm not good enough, 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 and I wouldn't play. Then I got to a point where, because when I started, I played with play by ear, and what was funny was that my first bass, I got discovered. It's funny. We got into the bass, and I went out to a bar with my NCO, and we got into a bar fight, and we got shot at, and then they were looking for us, and we had to sneak back on bass.
Oh my God!
And I got into the lunch line, and this lady says, "I know you. You're Grace's boy. I remember when you used to sing in church back in California." And it had to be a miracle, because I'm 20-something, 19-something. And when I sang with my mom, all three of us, we were like in single digits. And I'm like, how could this lady know me from 15, 20 years ago? And I'm already grown up. I was like 5 years old or whatever when I was in, because we went to California in Sacramento for 6 months before we went back over to Germany. I'm like, how does this lady know me and know my mom? And she goes, "If I know your mom can play, if your mom can play, I know you can play." And I'm like, I don't play keyboards. I took six months of lessons. I hated it, and I didn't do anything. And she told me, I'm gonna pick you up and you're gonna go to church with me. And I'm like, really? And she convinced me to go. And the next thing I know, she had me play at a piano, and I learned by ear real quick. And in a year and a half, I got an invitation to play at E.J. Patterson's church. And they were told me I was gifted and everything else. I was like, I don't know. I just pick up stuff by ear. And I remember going up there, and it was like I'm on the second floor, and Dr. Page was the minister of music at the time, and it was the complication where all the Church of God in Christ meet in Memphis. And I got up on stage, and Dr. Page goes, "Hey, you want to play during testimony service?" And I looked out there, and I seen all them people, and I just, nope. Because I remember my mentor was Freddie, and he had introduced me to him, and it was like, nope. And I actually sat in a pew with the Winans.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, I'll just sit out there, and I sat out there with the Winans. But I got to sing with Matty Moss's choir, I think the year after. But it was that was a blessing. Sorry. And then when I left and I went to Korea, I never played it anymore. Really? I never practiced. I played drums for a little bit for the chapel, then I never really played. And I got to Misawa, and I played jazz and played at San Diego Festival, and I played at some other festivals. And I played with a band, and I did created a soundtrack for a fashion show for Memorial Ken. Mm-hmm. I basically put a bunch of band members together, and I wrote music, and I said, hey, we're going to compose it. And then we composed it in music, and we recorded it for a Japanese fashion show. But that's how I learned how to get into PA systems and stuff like that. Hence the
Yeah. So Bobby, what do you recommend to beginning actors and actresses with regards to, like, being, because obviously to go back to what we're doing here and what we have been doing last week, this week, definitely this weekend, we've been like feeling out the script, dicing it up, fleshing out the characters. Like what do you say to an actor and an actress who maybe they're barely starting out, or maybe they don't? What do you want to tell people?
I say be patient, make yourself available. I know that people that are married and have kids are going to have time. They're going to have less time, but make sure you're yourself available. Do not be a butt. Treat people as you want to be treated. Don't be arrogant. Don't be humble. One of the things you want to be is be humble. One of the things that I've learned is just to be humble, because things will come to the nice people, and you'll find out that you'll make a lot more friends being nice and just being down to earth. But if you're going to be like, I'm an actor, I'm this, I'm that, you're not going to have a lot of friends. You're not going to get a lot of tips. You're not going to get a lot of people that's going to say, hey, come work over here, come work over there. There's a lot of good people in the industry, a lot of good independent producers. I met a lot. I met a lot of them from Chuck Williams' class. There's Jeannie. Of course, there's Edgar. Edgar is very flexible. You want to work with this guy.
Thank you.
Jeannie taught me a lot with voice. Chuck taught me a lot about the business. He taught me things about the business that you normally don't get from other people. Then you have third from the right is the agency, talent agency, and
now Swag.
Now they're Swag.
Southwest Artist.
Southwest Swag now. I joined them when they were third from the right, but now they're Swag. That's Mina and Katrina. Those are some good ladies over there. But always be nice.
No, and you know what? Like, so you actually took us back to there, and I was going to say, you ever seen that thing about Keanu Reeves floating around? Like, it tells you, like, Keanu Reeves from the movies, but do you know his life? I think it's a company online called Goldcast, right? Mm-hmm. And then it talks to you about, like, when he was born, and how he was friends with River Phoenix, who died, and he had to overcome that, and then his sister got, I think it was cancer, and he donated all of everything that he made from the Matrix to like a cancer hospital, and then his wife died, and then his, like, all these tragedies and these horrible things that he's endured, and he is still, according to the video, one of the kindest, most humble people. And that, you know what, man, honestly,
I really like that guy though.
That makes me want to watch and appreciate his films at another level. Even like John Wick, I haven't seen any of those. I do want to see.
I have
some
two.
Of those. You do?
1 and 2. Yeah.
And I hear nothing but good things. And, and so when you hear somebody who's just kind of like,
I even wrote in 12.
you hear things like that about somebody, and you're just like,
I support them.
I want to meet somebody. I want to meet that person. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
them people that are like that, I'll support them. I'll go out and support their work.
Yeah. And
everything else. People that are like, that are just hard to work with and just don't care, then I won't go see their movies. I'm sorry.
You just...
And you always got to look, I always say like this, you always got to, if you make it, remember the people how you made it, how hard it was to struggle, and bring somebody with you.
I like that. Very,
reach down, grab somebody with you, and just bring them up. I know that there's a lot of people that are in the movies a lot, and I think that there should be more different casting.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people on the same thing. Love you, Samuel L. Jackson, but you do a lot of movies. Give me some money.
That's right.
No, not give me some money. Give me some roles.
Yeah. It's funny. Let's go into another topic of creating your own roles, because as I was talking with you, Bobby, off camera first, mostly everything that I've ever done has always been in a very insular manner. So what I mean by that is basically, if you go on my YouTube account, links always below, you're gonna see that basically from now in 2019, going back to as far as 2002, everything that I've done has for the most part been a story right here, and right here, and from my skull and my chest that I've needed to tell, right? And so, where I'm going with this is, excuse me, and Damien, the guys, the brother, they did White Chicks.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Keenan Ivory
the
Wayne,
Wayne
Wayans
brothers.
I forgot which one, but
And scary movies.
he was recently on somewhere online, and he said, when Hollywood wasn't showing him the roles that he wanted to see or the opportunities that he wanted, what did he do? Wrote his own.
Yeah.
And then he said when Hollywood wanted to spoil a franchise that he created because it was successful, then what does he do? Write another one. And so he just wrote his own. And so I kind of identify with that big time. And like, I know I'm not the Wayans brothers, Marlon, I think it was.
They did Scary Movie, then they try to take over that.
It just goes back to, that whole topic of creating and don't be scared to create. If you're an actor or an actress, I got asked this one time, like, well, what if it was a minor I was being asked about, and a parent asked me, what if my kid's not booking, and what should she be doing in the meantime and whatnot. My 2 cents was, you have the greatest I've got it on right here. You have one of the greatest technological marvels in human history. It's called the cell phone. And think about this. On here you can create pictures, text, images, words, go live. And so she's like, what are you getting at? And I said, if your kid's got a monologue, if they know how to dance, if they know how to do something, always be out there using this powerful little weapon to tell the world, this is who I am, and I'm here. You know what I mean? And so, if it's at the very least this, you're doing something, but do something. And so I kind of identify with, if it was Marlon Wayne that said that, because, I mean,
media won't keep, before we didn't have all this media. Yeah. Now that you have this media, you can actually record yourself, take it out, and get how many hits that you want.
Yeah.
And everyone will see you. You weren't limited. But now that you're limited, now that you're not limited, it's all in your hands.
Yeah, and so that's why...
and the creative process starts here.
I was that kid who, my parents, thankfully, they put a roof over, my brother, my sister, myself, put a roof over our head, food in our stomachs, and they gave us a Catholic education. There wasn't too much money left over after the tuition was paid, right?
Right.
So... some kids in school Mondays be like, hey, I'd ask them, what'd you do over the weekend? Well, I made my dad take me and get me a Sega Genesis, and just snooty like that. And I'm just like, good for you, like, great.
That's the only video game I could actually win on. Really good.
but then what I would say was a whole lot less interesting, but to them, but it was a whole lot more interesting to me. I love telling the story because it's a God honest truth. I'd ride around the neighborhood, and I'd get excited when there was lumber and 2x4s, and I'd go with, so I'd go pick up all that crap.
You ever build a go-kart?
No, but tree houses.
I build go-karts.
Tree houses. Go-karts look like they're fun.
Yeah, you put the engine on the back, and you have to,
So
a lot more engine.
That's what I mean, is that, like, it's not that we grew up poor, like my family and whatnot. We didn't grow up poor, but there just wasn't a lot of money left over after tuition was paid, and I am thankful for that, for Catholic education. But that was the back end result. There just wasn't a lot of money left over. So, I and my brother and my sister, we were those kids where, hey, we got my dad's hammer, his nails. He had a bunch of great tools, and we just built our own tree houses. And so this is no different. Like, we're just creating and having fun creating, and it's all from scratch too. And
my parents didn't allow us. We had Atari. Tells you my age.
Frog.
But Frog and ping pong and Star Wars. But it was like we had a time set. Okay, now get outside. Go outside and play.
Yeah.
Go do this. We would do. I was in a skateboarding at the time and did some other stuff. We cycled a lot in Germany. We cycled for hours. My mom would always get lost.
Wow. But like that's all we're doing here is we're creating a world. You guys on the acting side, you guys and gals on the acting side, myself on the writing, shooting, directing, and editing side. in a way, I'm a masochist because I love actually doing all of that work. Obviously, here's the caveat to that. Obviously, I can't do it all, right? But what I can do, I do.
He can do it all.
I try. But I mean, that's all it's about. It's if you don't, and I encourage you, actors and actresses, if you are not seeing the opportunities that you want to see, or you don't have the content to publish what you want to publish out there, bam. Greatest tools in the world right here to communicate, to make videos, to edit videos, to share the videos, to upload them. You guys name it. Like there are kids who are YouTube stars because they have one of these.
That's
and
true.
They have like millions of followers. And so, but then again, they're kids, like they got a lot of time to put into it. But I mean,
their parents ain't watching them. That's what it is.
That's right. Hey, the phone's watching them.
The phone watching them, and the parents. What did you put on YouTube?
But I mean, like ultimately, my 2 cents is create.
Just create and be free.
Make and do your thing, and
back in the day when there was no electronics, all we did was create.
Yep.
We always, the times that you lay back in the back of the yard and you watch the clouds and you create visions in the clouds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The creative process. So be able to always create, be able to reinvent. Don't always stay in one thing. Just reinvent. It could be a voice. It could be a way that you look.
Mm-hmm.
It could just reinvent yourself. But at the same time, always, it's always fun to reinvent with somebody else. Don't be an island, be a team, because you can't make a film by yourself. So there's a lot of groups out here, a lot of filmmakers out here. Join the group, go to class. You can find people and if you go to class, you always learn from, only by the teacher, but the students too, you'll learn.
And earlier I was saying, as we're addressing, clips and whatnot, and frankly, I was flat out honest with you guys. You know what? I probably created, as one of the or maybe the nucleus of the whole thing, I probably created a little bit more work for myself than I thought, at least in my head, and I'm perfectly fine with that because hard work has never, ever, ever scared me because ultimately, here's the kicker. I like doing all this, even when it's hard work.
When it's a passion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic that I do love. I'm a big advocate for people for people loving what they do and doing what they love. And if I've had people very close to me like, well, I don't know what my thing, or I don't know what I'm meant to do. And I'm just my 2 cents is, if you don't know what you're meant to do in life, or what your passion is, or what your love is, try different things.
Exactly.
For me, I was very blessed at the age of 14 to gravitate toward my dad's 1990 Panasonic video camera that he bought to film my sister's 8th grade graduation. And I just,
That's like 40 pounds, wasn't it?
No. It wasn't that big. It was one of the smaller ones.
Okay.
So like 1990 on the dot, but I didn't mess around with it till 1994. But that's my thing, and I've tried. Here's the funny part. I've tried other things, law, medicine, or especially law. Oh my God! So because I've tried other things, I realized what I don't like and what is not meant for me and what I'm not meant for. But find your passion, do your thing, and if you don't know what it is, run out there and just figure it out and try different things. And that's what and when you do something that you love, that's the best, bro.
Go for it. If you love it, go for it. Because then the reward will be great. If you don't love it, then keep on looking and searching and find what you're passionate about and go for it. Because if you're going to go do something that you don't like, you're going to hate yourself at the end. If you do something that you're passionate with, you're always going to have fruit from it.
Very true. And damn, and you know what? Whether you're making a lot of money or any money at all from what you're passionate about, here's my 2 cents on the matter. If you're doing it, if you know who you are right here and what you want to do, what you're passionate about, and you're doing it, even if it's like a side thing, you come home from work, from that crappy job maybe that you hate, hopefully not. You come home from work and then, you have dinner, wash the dishes, walk the dog, and then you get to work in your office at home, then you won. Because I think the stats out there say like 70% of the American population despises going to work, and to me that breaks my heart. That's really sad. And so, even if you have to go to work and you're not too thrilled about your job, that's fine. But even if you're still doing your thing, you still kind of won. You kind of won because you're still doing, like, what your thing is, and you're reaching for it.
Find something that you're passionate about. If it's not your job, but something else, and it will complete your life, because you'll have something that always drives a driving force.
That's true. Bobby, anything else you'd like to add on this?
Not right now. We're going to do this again.
Cool. Yeah, you want to do another?
Yeah, we'll do another one.
Awesome,
right now.
brother. Well, thank you so much for being on
Thank you for having me.
FILMspiration. That's all it is.
Okay.
And I like to see that people, like when people realize, oh, it's just a talk. Just a talk.
Just a talk.
Everyone, so here's my closing spiel on FILMspiration. Run out there, do your things. In the case of film, tell your stories. If you guys don't know how to do something, you guys and gals don't know how to do something, go to the University of YouTube. It's free. Tuition is free. And, jump aboard on, very important. Thank you. I like to say thank you to people. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to all the new subscribers all the time. I really, really do appreciate that. You guys don't have to spend time with us, and you do anyway, so I really do appreciate that. Just thank you. Thank you in general, and thank you for always giving me an opportunity, and awesome people I bring aboard, like Bobby. And
we're humble.
Run out there. Run out there, do your things. Yeah, be humble.
Yes.
Be humble, because you know what? Like, if you're not, trust me, people see that. So, but run out there, do your thing, tell your stories, and don't. If you have a higher power, consult your higher power. And then outside of that, don't wait for anyone else's blessing or permission. Run out there, do your thing. YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. Also that little bell, that way you're notified next time I make a new video. On the Facebooks, on the fan page, there's a big fat thumbs up or like on that page. You guys leave a comment. It takes me a little bit, maybe a day or two, but I do see the comments on Facebook and YouTube. Leave us a comment. I want to hear. It's not just about, especially not so much in this case with you, Bobby, but like, with me, it's like I don't like to feel like I'm pontificating on my soapbox. I do want to hear from people, because if there's a way I can make the channel better, cool. Let me know. I want to hear from you, and I will get back to you. I do promise that. And just that, the Twitters, the Instagrams, bam, below. Everyone, thank you so much. This has been
Outstanding. I'm having a great time.
And your name, Bobby.
Bobby Fleming. Remember that name.
My name is writer-director Edgar Ibarra. This has been FILMspiration. Thank you very much. Goodbye, Bobby.
Goodbye.